Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we have a new book of Mary Pope Osborne's in the Magic Treehouse series. This is book 29, A Big Day for Baseball. Play ball, Jackie Robinson. Magic Treehouse, number 29, A Big Day for Baseball by Mary Pope Osborne. Jacket illustration, or the cover, by Saul Mercadica. Interior illustrations or the inside pictures by A.J. Ford. Contents. Prologue. Chapter 1. Fly Ball. Chapter 2. Opening Day. Chapter 3. Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Chapter 4. Good job, boys. Chapter 5. Foul ball. Chapter 6. Go. Chapter 7. Shortcut to a good place. Chapter 8. Safe. Chapter 9. The oldest fan of all. And Chapter 10. Home run. Prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. It was filled with books. A boy named Jack and his sister Annie found the treehouse and soon discovered that it was magic. They could go to any time and place in history just by pointing to a picture in one of the books. While they were gone, no time at all passed back in Frog Creek. Jack and Annie eventually found out that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay, a magical librarian from the legendary realm of Camelot. Since then, they have traveled on many adventures in the magic treehouse and completed many missions for Morgan. Now Jack and Annie are about to find out what their next magic treehouse mission will be. Chapter 1. Fly Ball. The early Saturday morning air was damp and chilly. Jack sat on his front porch steps. His chin was cupped in his hands. Annie came out of the front door. "Do you want Mom to take us to the rec center now?" she asked. It was the day for baseball tryouts. "I've decided not to go," said Jack. Annie sat down next to him. "What's wrong?" she asked. "I can't stop thinking about last season's tryouts," said Jack. "I fell down when I swung the bat." Everybody laughed. "Yeah, well, everybody laughed at me too," said Annie. "Remember, I threw the ball to the wrong team?" "So maybe neither of us should go," said Jack. "But our whole family loves baseball," said Annie. "We read about it. We watch it. We learn batting averages. Before Annie could finish, something dropped from the sky and rolled across their front yard. "What's that?" said Jack. He and Annie ran down the steps. A small white ball lay in the grass. Annie grabbed it. "It's a baseball," she said. "Where did it come from?" said Jack. He and Annie walked to the sidewalk and looked up and down their street. No one else was there. "Maybe it's from another world," whispered Annie. She handed the ball to Jack. "That's crazy," said Jack. "What other world?" "Think about it," said Annie. "One second we're talking about baseball and how we don't want to go to tryouts. The next, the baseball drops from the sky." "Oh, you mean," said Jack. "Morgan," Jack and Annie said together. Annie took off down the sidewalk. "Let's go," she called to Jack. "Hold on," Jack shouted. He put the mysterious ball inside his backpack and raced after Annie. Jack and Annie crossed the street and dashed into the Frog Creek woods. They hurried between the trees until they came to the tallest oak. The magic treehouse was back. "Yay, team!" said Annie. She grabbed the rope ladder and climbed up. Jack followed her into the treehouse. Leaf shadows danced on the wooden floor. Two gray baseball caps sat in the dappled light. Next to the caps was a book, History of Baseball. A red leather bookmark was sticking out of the pages. Jack picked up the book and opened the bookmark. The page showed a photo of a baseball stadium. The caption beneath it said, Ebbets Field, Brooklyn, New York, April 15, 1947. Ebbets Field, said Jack. I've heard of that. It was the famous ballpark. Look, there's a message on the book, said Annie. Jack held the bookmark up to the light. It's Morgan's handwriting, he said. He read aloud. 'Twas a big day for baseball so many years ago. Journey to Ebbets Field to learn what you should know. Learn what we should know, repeated Jack. To become better ball players? Sounds like it, said Annie. Morgan must have known about the tryouts. She read the next verse. These caps are magic, made only for you, to give you the skill you know what to do. Oh man, it sounds like these caps will make us great players, said Jack. Yay, said Annie. She read on. As long as you wear them, all others will see the skillful people you're pretending to be. I get it. Everyone else will see us as great players, said Annie. In a Little League game, said Jack. Why not, said Annie. Little League teams must have played at Ebbets Field too. Yeah, probably all kinds of teams played there, said Jack. Annie read more. When you hear the final score, give the ball with a name to the one who knows best the rules of the game. Our baseball has a name, said Jack. He pulled the ball out of his pack and turned it over in his hands. No name here. Well, maybe we're supposed to get one, said Annie. How about Bally? Bally, said Jack. Bally. I don't think so. Okay. How about fly ball? Said Annie. It flew down to us. Fine, whatever, said Jack. He put fly ball back in his pack. Ready? Yes, this is going to be so much fun, said Annie. Jack pointed to the photo of Brooklyn, New York. I wish we could go there, he said. And the wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 2. Opening Day. A spring breeze blew into the treehouse. The sky was cloudy. Hey, baseball uniforms, said Annie. Their clothes had magically changed. They were wearing baseball shoes, long socks, and baggy gray pants. Jack's backpack had turned into a leather bag. Look at that, said Annie. She pointed to the word Bat Boy stitched on the front of their jerseys. Oh, so we're going to be great bat boys, said Jack with a frown. Not great players. Don't worry, said Annie. I'm sure Morgan thinks that being great bat boys will help us become great players. But you can't be a bat boy, said Jack. And there is no such thing as a bat girl back then. Don't worry, said Annie. If we wear these caps, everyone will see that what we're pretending to be. Remember? Oh, right, said Jack. Annie and Jack picked up their caps and put them on. Wow, Annie said in a big grin. Yeah, wow, said Jack. He felt a surge of excitement and confidence. I feel like I know everything about baseball now. Me too, said Annie. I can't wait to get to Ebbetsville, said Jack. Let's go. He shoved the baseball book into his backpack, and then he led the way down the rope ladder. Jack and Annie stepped onto the ground. They'd landed in a small grove of trees. Nearby was stone benches and a fountain. Children were playing in the grass and sidewalks. Looks like a city park, said Jack. Let's ask for directions, said Annie. So as they headed towards the kids, a gust of wind blew through the park. Watch out, said Jack, grabbing his cap. Annie held on to her cap, too. We can't lose these, she said. No kiddin', said Jack. They passed a man playing guitar and singing in Spanish. They passed some girls playing jacks. They passed a group of noisy kids shooting marbles. Hey, two boys, one of the kids shouted. Two bat boys, one of them shouted. The others looked up and waved at Jack and Annie. Annie smiled at Jack. See, they think I'm a boy, she said. The magic's working. Cool, said Jack with a grin. You look the same as me, though. And you look the same as me, said Annie. Maybe we always look like our true selves to each other. Annie turned back to the kids playing marbles. Excuse me, how do we get to Ebbets Field? She called. That way, shouted one of the bigger kids. He pointed across the park. When you get to the street, it's just a few blocks east. You better hurry, yelled the small girl. The game starts at 2:30. What time is it now? Jack called. One of the boys looked at his watch. It's 1:30, he shouted. Oh man, we're late, said Jack. We should have been there at 1 o'clock to start our chores. Run! Fast, said Annie. She and Jack held onto their caps and they began running across the windy park. Bat boys! Bat boys! Wait for us, someone shouted. Jack and Annie looked back. The two smallest kids from the marbles game were scrambling after them. Jack thought the boy and girl looked about 6 years old. Sorry, we have to hurry, Jack yelled. But we can help you, the girl said. We know a shortcut. You do? Said Annie. Yes, said the boy. We go to Ebbets Field a lot. This way. The small kids turned and started down a dirt path. Annie and Jack ran after them. What are your names? The girl called. Jack and Andy, Annie yelled back. What's yours? I'm Olive, said the girl. This is my twin brother Otis. Twins? Cool, said Annie. It's a big day for baseball, said Otis. That's what we hear, said Jack. I wish we could be bat boys like you, said Otis. We know all the rules, said Olive. The twins led the way to the busy street at the edge of the park. Old-fashioned cars rattled down the broad avenue. The large cars had long hoods and lots of shiny chrome, silver chrome. Along the cars, a trolley car clattered over tracks. Jack and Annie stood at the corner with the twins and waited for the light to change. Nearby, a newsstand was selling the Brooklyn Eagle. Jack read the headline. Opening day at Ebbets Field, Brooklyn Dodgers versus Boston Braves. Annie, look, he said, pointing at the paper. We'll be working on a big league game. Big league? Wow, said Annie. You didn't know that? Said Olive. I thought the Braves were from Atlanta, Annie said to Jack, and the Dodgers from L.A. Not in 1947, said Jack. You didn't know that? Asked Otis. Lights red, let's go, yelled Jack. Hold hands, cried Olive. She grabbed Annie's hand and Otis grabbed Jack's. Watch out for the trolley. Jack and Annie ran with the twins across the avenue to the opposite corner. Good job, said Otis. Where now? Jack asked breathlessly. We'll take you, said Olive. Run! Thanks, said Jack. He liked the friendly kids. Jack and Annie held on to their caps as they ran against the wind. They followed Otis and Olive down one street and then another. Turn at the corner, said Olive. They all turned onto the busy, crowded street. There, the twins said together. In front of them was a big brick wall of a stadium. The words Ebbets Field curved around the wall. A huge crowd was headed inside. Yay, said Annie, panting. Thanks for showing us a shortcut, guys. We're not there yet. Come on, said Olive. It's a big day for baseball, said Otis again. A really big day. Chapter 3. Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The twins led Jack and Annie to the entrance of the stadium. They all joined the crowd streaming into the huge round lobby. The room had marble walls and a ceiling lamp made of baseball bats. A sign over the tickets window said, $1 general admission. Uh-oh, said Jack. He and Annie reached into the pockets of their uniforms. We don't have any money, said Annie. We don't either, said Otis. We don't need it because Bat Boys. A tall man from the uniform rushed over to them. His badge said security guard. That's us, said Jack. You're late, said the guard. The manager of the visitors clubhouse is looking everywhere for you. Get over there. Yes, sir. Jack knew just what the guard meant. The visitors clubhouse was the place in the stadium where the out-of-town team prepared for the game. Wait, can our two friends come watch the game for free? Said Annie. They helped us. Of course not, said the guard. Everyone has to pay, unless you're part of the game. Come on. The guard headed towards the turnstile. Sorry we can't help you, Jack said to the twins. Don't worry. We always watch from Belford Avenue, Otis said. We lie on the sidewalk and peek under the gate, Olive whispered. We can see most of the center field from there, said Otis, and a little bit of left field. Hey, Bat Boys, the guard shouted. Gotta go, said Jack. Thanks a million. Yeah, thanks a million, thought Annie. She and Jack hurried through the turnstile and followed the guard. Then they crossed the ramp and headed to the ballpark. You're working for the Braves, the guard said. I'll get the clubhouse manager. Wait here. And he walked away. Oh, man, Jack breathed as he and Annie looked around. Compared to the Little League ballpark back home, Evansville was huge. Fans were filling the stands. A band was playing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. A breezy air smelled of roasted peanuts, hot dogs, and grilled onions. On the field, umpires in dark suits were talking to each other. Around the baseball diamond, team members were playing catch. The men all wore jerseys with blue letters that spelled Dodgers. Look at the Dodgers Bat Boys, said Annie. They're helping their team warm up. Those Bat Boys look twice our age, said Jack. I know, said Annie, but our caps make everyone see us as teenagers too. That's so incredible, said Jack, smiling. He loved looking older. He loved working for a big league game. He loved the sights and sounds and smells of Ebbets Field. The fans were really dressed up, said Annie. In the stands, the men and boys wore suits and hats. The women and girls wore dresses, jackets, and white gloves. It was really different from Frog Creek. At the ballpark at home, grown-ups and kids wore jeans, shorts, and sweatpants. Jack noticed something else that was different from Frog Creek. Here, half the stands were filled up with mostly white people. The other half was filled with mostly black people. At home, people of all colors sat together. Annie pointed to a black Dodgers player signing autographs on baseballs. Who's he? She said. Black fans were shouting and waving at the player. Reporters were trying to interview him. A photographer was taking pictures. I don't know. He must be a big star, said Jack. Hey, Bat Boys, you're late, someone shouted. Jack and Annie whirled around. A short, wiry guy was striding towards them. He must be the manager of the visitors' clubhouse, Jack thought. You've only got 40 minutes, the man roared. The Braves will be here any moment. Their trunks have just been delivered from the station. He pointed at the door of the clubhouse. "Go inside and get to work." "Yes, sir," said Jack and Annie. Without another word, they hurried inside the visitors' clubhouse, and they got to work. Tomorrow, Chapter 4. Good job, boys. See you then.